Now we will have Mr. Lao Sri Krishna Garu. He is the member of Parliament of 17th Lok Sabha. He contested and won in Indian national elections in 2019 from Narsaraopet constituency, representing YSR Congress Party in 2014. Now let's welcome Sri Bharat Matkumali. He is the Geetham Institution's head. He holds an undergraduate degree from Purdue University of 2010. He also completed degree of MBA and MA Education class of 2006. Now I welcome Mr. Yazad Jal, Director for Center for Civil Society Academy. In this role, he creates, develops and manages all the training and education related programs of the center, including flagship policy for young Indians.
Sir, it's the first time you contested in 2019 election, and the team and delegates eagerly want to know the insights of all of you were an entrepreneur earlier and you come into the politics and you contested first time, your experiences, the first hand experiences they want to know. And also my question here is, what do you think is the entry point for the next generation youngsters if they want to contest, they want to come into the politics? మీరు కూడా 2019 ఎలక్షన్స్ లో బిగ్గెస్ట్ ఎడ్యుకేటెడ్ కాన్స్టిట్యున్సీ అయినటువంటి విశాఖపట్నం నుంచి కంటెస్ట్ చేసి ఉన్నారు. సో మీరు మొదటి నుంచి రాజకీయాల మీద ఆసక్తితో పాలిటిక్స్లోకి వచ్చారా, లేకపోతే లైక్ వారసత్వ రాజకీయాల్లో నుంచి రాజకీయాల్లోకి వచ్చారా? మీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఎలా ఉంది? అండ్ కంక్లూడింగ్ క్వశ్చన్ హియర్ ఈస్ సార్, ఇఫ్ ఎట్ ఆల్ యంగ్స్టర్స్ రాజకీయాల్లోకి రావాలి అనుకుంటే ఇప్పుడున్న సిస్టంలో బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అనేది లేకుండా వీరికి అవకాశాలు ఉన్నాయా?
How many people are interested in politics, want to be politicians? Raise hands. Okay. How many people want to work in policy? How many people don't belong to both of those things? So, why are you here? Yes, general interest? Okay. This recording is, who's the organizer? What is this recording for? For displaying on YouTube or only for internal purposes? Intention is to be candid. Both Krishna and I have addressed gatherings of 50, 100 to 10,000, 15,000 people also. So probably more in Narsaraopet because they have larger groups of people. And for us to take time out and come speak to a group of people is always like you're trading off something else, right? Why have we chosen this? And I'm speaking for Krishna here. Finding individuals who are interested in this way of life, who've made the effort to come out here, that's important to us. And we'd like to contribute whatever we can and whatever you take away. So that's the primary interest of being here. So we would like your full attention. The other, we all represent different parties. So beyond a certain point, I don't want to get into a debate because we cannot speak beyond party line after a certain point. So we have to be careful about that. And what is the third thing? In terms of sort of background, the question that he had asked, I come from a family of businessmen, politicians, educationalists. The education bit is common to both. My granddad started a university in an institution in 80, it's a university now. And his father also head of many institutions, and that's also, one of them is a university today. So we're both educationalists, and we come from a very well established large family background. So if I were to say that youth can easily get in, I would be lying. It's very, very hard to get into the system. And what he said, right, in spite of the size of his family, the wealth that he has, the reach that his network has, he still did not have a guarantee that he would get the ticket. Ammaval Nangaru is congressman. He's been in Congress since 77. 83లో 83లో ఎమ్మెల్సీ పోటీ చేశారు, 84లో ఎంపీ పోటీ చేసి ఎంపీగా గెలిచారు. అప్పుడు సిన్స్ దెన్ ఈ 5 సార్లు ఎంపీ అయ్యారు ఆయన కాంగ్రెస్లో. లాస్ట్ టైం హీ బికమ్ క్యాబినెట్ మినిస్టర్ ఇన్ యూపీఏ 2. మై ఫాదర్స్ ఫాదర్ వైజాగ్ పార్లమెంట్ 5 సార్లు పోటీ చేశారు, 2 సార్లు హీ వాజ్ ఎంపీ ఆఫ్ వైజాగ్. సో born with a silver spoon, right? So for me, it's not like I entered as some నేనేదో ఉద్ధరించానని కాదు. I come from a background, and they were both businessmen when they began. When they came from humble beginnings, చిన్న రైట్ కుటుంబాల నుంచి వచ్చి కష్టపడి పనిచేసి డబ్బులు సంపాదించి ఒక స్థాయికి వచ్చిన తర్వాత రాజకీయాల లోపలికి వచ్చారు. బిగాన్ దేర్ కెరియర్స్ ఇన్ late 50s, early 60s, and 25 years they were in business before they entered politics. Now, when it comes to me, I've grown up very comfortable, but at the same time, very close to both my grandfathers. 89లో పుట్టాను నేను. 89 నుంచి 2014 ఆ 25 సంవత్సరాలు either one of my grandfather was a member of parliament. So, entire 25 years. And so for me, Delhi was a second home. I spent in Delhi chala time spent chesanu. I met a lot of politicians, met a lot of bureaucrats, and I would say that while my grandfather have seen a lot of success relative to what their potential was, I don't think they achieved it. They definitely were probably 40-50% of their potential, maybe lesser. ఎందుకు సక్సీడ్ అవ్వలేదు? మనం అసలు స్టడీ చేస్తే అసలు పొలిటికల్ సిస్టమ్స్, ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ ఎలా వర్క్ చేస్తున్నాయో చూడాలి. జనరల్గా పాలిటిక్స్లో నంబర్ 1, నంబర్ 2 లీడర్స్ ఇంకెవరు ఎదగడం ఇష్టపడరు. కాంపిటెంట్గా ఉన్న వాళ్ళు, ఒక వాయిస్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు, ఇండిపెండెంట్గా ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఎదిగితే వాళ్ళు మనకి థ్రెట్ అవుతారని వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడే పైకి ఎదిగినవారు. వాళ్ళకి మంత్రి పదవులు ఇవ్వరు, హైలైట్ అయిపోతారు. ఉదాహరణకి చెప్తాను, 2004లో రాజశేఖర రెడ్డి ముఖ్యమంత్రి అయ్యారు. దెన్ మై గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ బికేమ్ ఎంపీ, వెరీ వెల్ ఎడ్యుకేటెడ్, వెరీ ప్యాషనెట్, వెరీ హార్డ్ వర్కింగ్. The 4 ministers who were made at the time were not people who would match that caliber. But why were they made? So పార్టీకి తెలుసు ఎవరు పర్ఫామ్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఎవరు చేయట్లేదు. వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే నేను చెప్పిందికి ఎస్ మెన్, ఎస్ బాస్. ఎస్ బాస్ అంటే మంత్రి చేస్తారు. ఇండిపెండెంట్గా పని చేస్తాను, నేనేదో ఉద్ధరిస్తాను అంటే అది లేదు. సో ఇట్స్ అ బ్యాలెన్స్. ఇఫ్ ఆర్ నాట్ కాంపిటెంట్ ఇనఫ్ నీకు టికెట్ అవ్వరు, ఎందుకంటే నువ్వు గెలవాలి ఎలక్షన్స్. బట్ నువ్వు ఓవర్ కాంపిటెంట్ అయితే మళ్ళీ ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది. ఇలా చాలా న్యూయెన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి, ఇవన్నీ బయటికి అంత ఈజీగా రావు. బట్ విత్ యూ స్టడీ దెమ్ యూ విల్ గెట్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్. సో ఐ గ్రూ అప్ క్లోజ్ టు దెమ్, ఇన్స్పైర్డ్. వాళ్ళ ఛాలెంజెస్ కూడా చూశాను. వాళ్ళ సైడ్ వీక్నెసెస్ ఏంటో చూస్తే, వాళ్ళు సొంత డబ్బులతో పైకి వచ్చారు. సో వాళ్ళకి ఎప్పుడు ఆ ప్రైడ్, ఈగో ఉండేది. నేను ఎవరి మాట ఎందుకు వినాలి, నేను ఎవరికో వణిగి ఎందుకు ఉండాలి, అది వాళ్ళ ప్రాబ్లం. వెన్ యూర్ ఇన్ దట్ సిస్టమ్ యూ హావ్ టు అడ్జస్ట్ టు దట్ సిస్టమ్. నేనేమనుకున్నానంటే వాళ్ళు ద ఇంపాక్ట్ దట్ దేర్ హ్యావింగ్, లక్షల జీవితం వాళ్ళు మార్చుతున్నారు. ఆ ప్లాట్ఫామ్లో నేను ఉండగలిగితే అది గొప్ప అదృష్టం. చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి డబ్బుల్లో పెరిగాను కాబట్టి డబ్బు మీద ప్రతి వ్యామోహం ఇప్పుడు లేదు. వాళ్ళు 1,00,000 జీవితాలు ఇంపాక్ట్ చేయగలిగితే నేను 1 కోటి జీవితాలను ఇంపాక్ట్ చేయగలుగుతాను అనేది ఛాలెంజ్. అలాగే పెరిగాను. సో వాళ్ళు చేసిన కష్టాలు నేను చేయలేను, వాళ్ళకున్న డ్రైవ్ నాకు లేదు. ఎందుకంటే ఫైర్ ఇన్ ద బెల్లీ అంటారు. తాత ఎప్పుడు అనేవారు, నువ్వు అంత అదృష్టవంతుడు కాదురా, నువ్వు మధ్యతరగతి కుటుంబంలో పుట్టలేదు, అందుకే నీకేదో సాధించాలి అనే తపన నీకు లేదు. ఇప్పుడు సుఖాల్లో పెరిగావు, అది చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి బ్రెయిన్లో ఉండిపోయింది. సో రియలైజ్ అయ్యా, అవును కరెక్ట్, వాళ్ళు చేసి నేను చేయలేను, కానీ వాళ్ళు తయారు చేసిన ప్లాట్ఫామ్ని ఎలా పైకి ముందు తీసుకెళ్ళాలి అనేది చూడాలి. దానికి అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటి అంటే, ఇవాళ సమాజం ఒక న్యూ కమర్కి, ఒక కొత్తగా వచ్చే వాళ్ళకి చాలా చాలా కష్టం. సో వాళ్ళు చాలా మారల్ అండ్ ఎథికల్ కాంప్రమైజెస్ చేస్తే కానీ ఎదగడం అంత ఈజీ కాదు. డబ్బులు సంపాదించాలి, పేరు సంపాదించాలి, స్ట్రైట్ ఫార్వర్డ్గా నువ్వు పనిచేస్తే నేను ఎవరు ఎదగనివ్వరు. సో వాళ్ళు బై ద టైమ్ దే కీప్ డూయింగ్ దిస్, దే కీప్ కటింగ్ కార్నర్స్, దే కీప్ కటింగ్ దర్ ఎథిక్స్ అండ్ మారల్స్, అండ్ దే రీచ్ అ ప్లేస్. బై దట్ పాయింట్ దే హ్యావ్ చేంజ్డ్ యాజ్ అ పర్సన్. ఏ ఉద్దేశంతో అయితే రాజకీయాలు ఎంటర్ అయ్యారో వాళ్ళ పదవికి వచ్చేసరికి మనిషి మారిపోతాడు. రోజు మనం ఏదో చేస్తున్నాం, ఎవరినో చీట్ చేస్తున్నాం, ఏదో చేస్తున్నాం, మనం ఇది చీటింగ్ అవర్ సెల్స్, అబద్ధాలు చెప్తున్నాం. ఆ స్థాయికి వచ్చేసరికి ఇంకా మర్చిపోతాం మనం అసలు ఎందుకు వచ్చామో అని. ఇంకా అదొక పులి మీద సవారీ చేయడం లాగా ఉండాలి. ఈ సిస్టంలో మనం సక్సీడ్ అవ్వాలి. ఇట్ బికమ్స్ మోర్ అబౌట్ ఈగో అండ్ ప్రైడ్. సో నాకు అది లేదు, అది నా అడ్వాంటేజ్. నేను ఎప్పుడూ ఆ కష్టాలు పడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. I never had to question my ethics or morals. I have the luxury today that many do not have, of saying that I will not do things. I can say that. So in Vizag 2018, I was on the board of Geetham for about 6-7 years, and Tata got dengue fever, my father's father. అప్పుడు చెప్పారు, నువ్వు రా వైజాగ్ వచ్చి నువ్వు పోటీ చేయాలి. 2014 దాకా చేశారు. 14లో ఆయన పోటీ చేయలేదు. బీజేపీకి ఇచ్చాము సీట్ అలయన్స్లో. బీజేపీ ఎంపీ గెలిచారు. ఇప్పుడు బీజేపీతో అలయన్స్ లేదు, టీడీపీకి వస్తుంది మళ్ళీ టికెట్. సో టీడీపీలో ఇన్నేళ్ళు నేనే పోటీ చేశాను కాబట్టి నా ఫ్యామిలీ నుంచి ఎవరైనా పోటీ చేస్తారు అనేది ఆయన ఇంట్రెస్ట్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ అగైన్ నెపోటిజం, రైట్? సో ఆయన తయారు చేసిన దిస్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్ హీ వాంట్ సంబడి ఇన్ ద ఫ్యామిలీ. ఎవ్రీబడి డస్. నువ్వు ఒక బిజినెస్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేసినా నీ బిజినెస్ చూడుకోవాలి నువ్వు అనుకుంటావు. నువ్వు ఒక యాక్టర్ అయినా సరే నీ పిల్లలు యాక్టర్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటావు. నువ్వు రాజకీయ నాయకుడు అయినా సరే నీ కుటుంబం నుంచి ఎవరో రావాలని నువ్వు కోరుకుంటావు. నాకు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంది, సో నేను ఎందుకు కాదంటాను. నాకు ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ఉంది కాబట్టి నేను ఐ సెడ్ ఓకే ఎస్ ఐఎమ్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్, ఐ డూ ఇట్. వెళ్ళాము, వైజాగ్కి వెళ్ళాను. అండ్ మా పార్టీలో ఉన్న సిచ్యువేషన్ ఏంటంటే ఏది గ్యారంటీ లేదు. వైసీపీలో ఉంటుందో నాకు తెలియదు కానీ మాకు మా ఏప్రిల్ 11th పోలింగ్, నాకు March 19th నాకు కన్ఫర్మ్ చేశారు నేను పోటీ చేస్తున్నాను. ఐ డోంట్ నో హౌ మెనీ ఆఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ కాంటాక్ట్స్. Lokesh, who is the son of the previous chief minister, is and I are married to sisters, so we're co-brothers. And my father-in-law is Balakrishna, who is an actor and non-brother-in-law of Chandrababu Naidu, our boss. So everybody on the outside is neekente doubt నువ్వు నీకు ఇన్ని విధాలుగా కనెక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, నీకు టికెట్ రాకుండా ఉంటుందా. ఇన్సైడ్ ద సీన్ నాకు అసలు ఐ బిగాన్ వర్క్ ఇన్ అక్టోబర్, నాకు March 19 దాకా నాకు టికెట్ వస్తుందని నాకు గ్యారెంటీ లేదు. I did not know. And that's a lot of anxiety because there are so many things that go in. People have to trust you, you have to spend a lot of money. That's another thing. Krishna and I wouldn't have been here if we didn't spend a lot of money. Right? So that money doesn't come easy. And Panjasamu, Mellaga, you, in spite of all of this background, people over there, Vizaglo, వాళ్ళు ఓవర్గా భరత్ వచ్చేస్తే బాగుంటుంది అని ఎవరు కోరుకోలేదు. చదువుకున్న కుర్రోడు తిని వస్తే బాగుంటుంది అని ఎవరు అనుకోలేదు. అక్కడ ఉన్న లీడర్స్ ఏమనుకుంటారు, వీడు సమర్థవంతుడు, వీడు వస్తే మనందరినీ తొక్కేస్తాడు, వీడిని దూరంగా పెట్టడం బెటర్. లేకపోతే మూర్తి గారితో ఏదో రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉంటుంది. మా తాత ఆయన చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్ పర్సనాలిటీ, హీ వాజ్ అ వెరీ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఓవర్ డామినేటింగ్ పర్సనాలిటీ. ఆయనలాగా తిని ఉంటే మనకి బాగుండదు. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ లైక్ హిమ్, ఐఎమ్ డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్రమ్ హిమ్. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ బయాసెస్ వీ హ్యాడ్ టు ఫేస్. Day 1 ఏం చేయాలి అని నాకు తెలియదు. ఒకసారి పార్లమెంటేరియన్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఎలా ఉండాలో నాకు తెలుసు, ఎందుకంటే పార్లమెంట్ మెంబర్స్ని చూసి పెరిగాను. కానీ పార్లమెంటేరియన్ అవ్వడానికి ఏం కష్టపడాలో నాకు తెలియదు. తాత చనిపోయారు, మా గ్రాండ్ డాడ్ పాస్డ్ అవే October 2nd. సో బై ద టైమ్ ఐ బిగాన్ మై వర్క్ హీ వాజ్ నాట్ అలైవ్. అండ్ ఆయన హీ వాజ్ అ సోలో ఆపరేటర్, హిస్ చిల్డ్రన్ నోబడీ వాజ్ ఇన్వాల్వ్డ్. He only worked with his team of people. His PA also died in that same accident. So I was alone. And my family was still living here in Hyderabad. I had to begin somewhere. So some people who is his well-wishers, వాళ్ళు ముందుకు వచ్చి ఇది ఎక్కడితో మొదలు పెడదాం, అక్కడితో మొదలు పెడదాం. The platform for me was, we have a large institution like Geetam University, we have a hospital. We were doing a lot of health camp programs in the constituency. Our health camps ద్వారా మొదలుపెట్టి we were treating 1,000 patients every day, almost. I conducted about 70 health camps over the constituency of about 18 lakh voters. So there was a way to go reach out to people. I had that platform. We worked and fortunately got the ticket contested. Unfortunately, I lost. A large factor due to the previous speaker who came here and spoke, J. Lakshmi. And he's... I was thinking when he said he's going to come into politics, hopefully he doesn't come to Vizag. But he was not going to win. The writing was on the wall. So I knew that he's there to make me lose. But I thought I'll at least overcome that and win. But at the end, on the polling day, I was plus or minus 1,000 with the YCP candidate until like 11 p.m. from the morning. So it was like a 11-hour climax for a movie. Prati scene climax.
From the first round to last round, they never gone below 1,000 or never went above 4,000.
So in the last, in the 18th round in one of the 7 constituencies, I suddenly lost 4,000 votes. And I couldn't recover from that hit. So I lost with 2,700 polled votes and 1,700 postal ballots. So 4,400 was my margin of loss. So it's about 0.27% in the polled votes. And out of the 2.8 lakh that JD Garu polled, 1.4 only his MLAs polled. He polled 1.4 lakh above his MLAs. And out of that 1.4, 80,000 votes were from TDP MLAs and 50,000 were from YCP. So just simple math, out of one with about 30,000 if he was not there. But it's fine. I mean, loss is not easy for anybody. and I can deliberate more on this, but I know I'm taking a lot of time. As it comes back to me, I'll speak later.
Thank you. As you are expert in policy making, the straightforward question is there in current democracy system of India, is there any possibility for the youngsters who doesn't have any family background or any financial muscle power to enter into politics? Or is there any chance for our policy makers to enhance the system to encourage the more youngsters into the politics?
Both very good questions.
Before that, I'll request you to introduce your journey to the majority of the delegates to know.
Okay, so I am not from a political family, and I have never contested elections except in school and college. But I started off working in non-profits in Mumbai, where we were part of a youth group, and then we were working for a group that worked in good governance called Praja, which is still there. And then I went to the US, I got an MBA, and then I was working as a consultant for 10 years. So very different from public policy. And then 2 years back, I decided that what I wanted to do was in India. And so I came back and I worked first with Takshashila, which is a public policy institution in Bangalore. And then I moved to Delhi last year, where I am working with Center for Civil Society. So that in brief is my journey. So what I want to talk first is all of us should take part in politics. But taking part in politics does not mean that you have to enter politics and fight elections. Just voting. How many of us voted the last time there was an election? So everybody whose hand is up has taken part in politics. So voting, attending a public rally, that is also taking part in politics. If there is, a new policy that is coming out, sending your suggestion, that is taking part in politics. So we should all do that. I have a story, it's a story from England. There was this businessman called Anthony Fisher, who was very perturbed by the state of England in 1950s, and he wanted to make a difference. So he met the economist Friedrich Hayek, and he asked Hayek that I want to actually enter politics. And Hayek said, you don't have to enter politics. What you have to do is enter the battlefield of ideas. So change the ideas, and that is more important. So then Anthony Fisher set up a lot of think tanks and non-profit organizations, and it took years. But when Margaret Thatcher came to power, she actually showed that Anthony Fisher was one of the people who inspired her. So it is possible to influence politics by not even standing for elections. So that is the first thing we must take into consideration. The second thing I want to talk about is whether you want to enter politics or whether you want to be in policy, you should learn the tools of the trade. There is an excellent book that came out recently called In Service of the Republic by Vijay Kelkar and Ajay Shah. They are both, have worked for government for many, many years. Dr. Kelkar is actually 77 years old, so he's got massive experience in government of India and state governments. So, learn these tools. Simple tools even of, I'll give you one example of something that we know. We were talking about voting earlier. Tell me, how many people in this room have read the manifestos of every political party before the last election? Not even 10 people. So, you voted, right? So everybody else voted, but did not care to read the manifestos. Tell me, last time you went to buy a phone, how much time did you spend on checking out the phone, seeing, it has the right specifications, camera is good or not, is the, all of the specifications. You must have spent at least 5 days, thinking about the phone before buying it. What is more important?
Your life.
What is more important? So we are not spending that much time on what is more important. We are spending more time on the phone. And maybe I am also guilty of that. So make sure that we pay attention to what is the more important things. I'll give you one more example. How many of you all know who Kareena Kapoor is? Very cute. How many of you all know what is the local government's policy in your constituency? What is the water policy or the electricity policy in your constituency where you live? You don't have to look for MP constituency or even MLA constituency. In your corporator constituency, in the city or the town where you live, if you live in a village, the panchayat, how many of us know that? So that is taking part in politics. So that is taking part in policy, knowing those things. So let's not worry about things like success, because success in politics comes and goes. What matters is ideas. So, for example, CCS works a lot in education policy, and we have been trying to, give our thoughts on education policy for many years. Recently, the government is coming out with new education policy. We gave many suggestions, and they accepted 16 of our suggestions. So those 16 are part of the new policy. So it takes time, but it does work. And the last thing I want to say is, don't just do only politics. As you see, even the illustrious people on the stage, they have been entrepreneurs, they have been educationists. So you have to do something else also. So have a life. Politics is very important, but make sure that you have a life outside politics also.
I just want to sort of take that as a segue. 2 points I wanted to say. One is, he asked how many of you know the policy, right? If you look at it, there's 3 main aspects. One, the person who's making the policy ensuring that it goes out in a way that is readable by people. 2, media carrying that. 3, the end user consuming it. If the end user consumes it, media will give more of that, because media wants to make money at the end of the day. And if the media is consuming it, the parties will give more information to media. So what can I do as an individual sitting here? When you read some article about policy, spend more time reading it on your Facebook or your whatever that is. That's enough. That data goes back to the end user, consumer, and they're like, okay, we see more consumption in policy, let's publish that. And the other thing which he said, how can you participate in politics? See, I have limitations on how much I can talk. He has limitations on how much he can talk. But today, Kunal Kamra or Dhruv Rathi, who are the most viewed YouTube channels, they don't have a limit. They can say anything they want. After a certain point, if there's threat of life or if they're being bought over for money, it's a different story. But with the freedom with which they can operate, by being in a party, we cannot. So, and through that, you can impact so much more. Because we, as individuals, we may say that we don't want to lie, but we cannot speak the full truth. That power does not exist with us. When we are part of a system, we have to speak for the system. But when we are an outsider, the truth liberates you. You can speak the truth and ensure that the society follows it. Right? So that's something that's important to think about.
Thank you, Ajit and Bharat garu. Krishnadevarayalu garu. We must, what you can say, Pudu. Sorry, my parents ni Manspurtiga thanks cheppalanipistundi sir, because they are keeping your name right. Krishnadevarayalu garu gurtu chesinanduku. Sir, you are the first time parliamentarian entered into the House of the Nation. Is 34% ఉన్న ఈ నేషన్ లో యూత్ ఉన్నటువంటి ఈ నేషన్ లో వెరీ మినిమల్, మేబీ ఇన్ సింగిల్ డిజిట్స్ యాక్చువల్ యూత్ ఆర్ రిప్రజెంటింగ్ ఇన్ ది హౌసెస్. ఓకే, గెలిచాము, హౌస్ లో రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తున్నారు. మై క్వశ్చన్ హియర్ ఈజ్ దట్ రియల్లీ గెటింగ్ యువర్ స్పేస్, not only you as the young MPs in the house, to say your opinions or to influence the decision making and policies which are generating by the policy makers.
Start off, I'll give the backstory of the name, why my parents have given that. The reason being my namesake, the original one, apparently had too many talents. He was a poet, he was a warrior, he was a king, everything. So my dad thought if I give my son this name, if he gets one quality of his, I'll be very happy. That's right. The second thing was, okay, when they take out his name, they'll remember the culture of Telugu people. So that's the background of it. Regarding the youth in politics, Bharat made both of them made some points, but I need to differ with in some aspects of what they have said. That being, it's very difficult to for a newcomer to come into contest in the election. It's not actually. I can give it with examples. In Andhra Pradesh itself, with my colleagues, I can name them as well. If you see Araku Parliament area, nothing. They didn't have like huge amounts of money, nothing. They came from, she was there and she got a good name and everything. Her father was also a communist leader, but yeah, she didn't have anything actually. And after Vijayanagaram, I can give, what's after Vizag? Anakapalli. Anakapalli is the same thing. A doctor. Nothing. She's a doctor. She did a lot of cesareans and everything. And she did gynecology work and everything. She got it. And next comes Kakinada. Kakinada, she was ex-MP, but she didn't spend any, this thing. And I'm giving you all with examples. And next comes, okay, Rajmundry jail and everything, okay, I understand. Next comes Bapatla. Bapatla, nothing. He came from nothing. Didn't spend anything or no background. And if you go to Chittoor, it's the same thing. If you go to Tirupati, it's the same thing. So how many I named? 7 or 8 out of 25. That's not a bad percentage, right?
Very good.
Yeah, they didn't have any background, no money, nothing. So, when there is a strong leader who has a connect with the people, he can push people, he can make sure that people can win. Like, see Arvind Kejriwal, he can do it. So, it's the same thing that happened in Andhra Pradesh as well. So, it's not difficult. But how we can be there in the eye of the leader is the critical question. That is what you should think of. You have to be in the eye of the people, eye of the leader. How you can be, because that is what you have to think of. For that, as I was mentioning, try to act on policy, because most of the leaders, including myself, they are literally searching for competent people to execute works. So you can always come forward and say, I'll help you here, I'll help you here. People are always searching. All the way from Mr. Y.S. Jagannath Reddy Garu to the local MLA or Sarpanch. They are always looking for some competent people so that who can execute their works. Where you can come and part of it is a question. You see, I'll give another example. I think it's a CM of Assam, I think. That's where the BJP has formed the government after a long time. The CM of Assam was a gym trainer in 2004. He was a gym trainer in 2004. In 2000, he was an Assam guy. He was in Delhi. He was working in a gym. Then he got an opportunity with an MP to assist an MP there. Once he got acquainted with the MP, he was like a PA for the MP, and he saw how the whole thing works and how it can be done and everything. And BJP was, then he moved to another MP, then to a minister. That's how his name was doing rounds in the BJP circles. Like, okay, this guy is competent enough, he can execute works, whatever we give and everything. So once they saw this can happen, they were trying to establish BJP government in Assam. They wanted a face which they know, which they are acquainted with. So they said, why don't you go and start your campaign as a MLA there. 1 year before he went to Assam as a MLA candidate, 1 year afterwards, he has defeated almost a 5-time CM, Mr. Tarun Gogoi, and he has become the Chief Minister of Assam. From a gym trainer, in 10 years he has become a... So no, don't be cynical of it. So where you can be part of it, think of it. Think of how I can, if you find, but it's a difficult path, and I'm not saying it's a rosy path. For me it was rosy in some ways, Bharat it was rosy in some ways, for me it was difficult in some ways, for him it will be difficult in some ways. All our journeys are not going to be the same, all our things are not going to be the same, because I don't, maybe some people might have nothing to lose. Some people, they can say, after engineering I'll give 5 years time. Okay, after 5 years I'll go back to software job. So I have 5 years, I don't have to lose. But someone like Bharat, he doesn't have the luxury of saying that, because he has to go back and start working in the taking care of the business. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So everyone has their own luxuries and everyone has their own difficulties. So don't think in such a way. You try to be part of policy making or assisting someone, but try to spend time, try to put all your effort for sure. For everything, even for a startup, there is a success rate. So for everything, even politics, there is a success rate. So don't think if you, for example, if you see 80% of the 90% of the startups fail, because 90% of the startups fail because no one will do a startup. Doesn't make any sense, right? Same with politics. If 90% of them fail, doesn't mean that you don't want to do it. Don't be, don't get disheartened. Put your full effort. Go out there and do it. Coming to the actual question of representation in Parliament, it's not in single digits actually. Who are youth. I don't know if you say youth. Rahul Gandhi is youth. There will be no more number. But if you call me as a youth, the age group of mine and around 40, below 40 are above single digit, and most of them, and they are very strong in their views, and they put across their views very strongly. Whether all the views that you have gets gets translated, might not. But the question is, are you putting your views there or not? That is the whole thing. It's not about everything has to be translated into some action, but some point down the line it might turn into translation. For example, he has put with a new education policy, some 25, 30, 16 got accepted.
Yes.
But how many you have proposed?
Nearly 40.
Yeah. See, they had a think tank and they were sitting there spending so many hours. They put together 40. I put together the new education policy. Some it might get translated to action, but it might not get translated to action. But whether we are putting that effort or not is the question. So to answer the question, yes, some of them will get into action.
Good message. I agree with him. You can have a pessimistic or an optimistic approach. Go with what he says.
Yeah. Thank you, Krishna Garu. And some my opinion to share in this point. Without any background, you can enter into the politics, particularly the youth. And Krishna Garu ichina explanation and answer daniki Bharat garu indaga explanation lo ichunnaru. And the competency leadership unte kanaka, it's very tough to get the opportunity. If you are a strong follower and yes man, and definitely yes. Not in adi na opinion anpichinది.
అంటే న్యూన్స్ ఏంటంటే లీడర్ వాంట్స్ ద క్యాండిడేట్ టు విన్.
యా.
సో జస్ట్ నాకు డబ్బు కొట్టి తను గెలవకపోతే మళ్ళీ నేను టికెట్ ఇవ్వను కదా. గెలిచేయడానికి సత్తా ఉండాలి. గెలిచిన తర్వాత నా మాట వినాలి. బ్యాలెన్స్ ఉండాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఎనీ లీడర్ వెదర్ ఇట్ బి హిస్ పార్టీ టు సమ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్ అవర్ పార్టీ ఆల్సో విల్ ఆర్ వెరీ టాప్ హెవీ. ఇట్స్ నాట్ లైక్ ఇట్స్ డిసెంట్రలైజ్డ్. It's not like now Krishna can go and say that we'll do this in the government.
Bharat garu, is a straightforward question. Is that happening in particularly in Andhra Pradesh parliamentary selection of the parties? Candidates ni gelustara ani caliber unna select chestuntarantara?
Kadu.
Parties.
Let's put it this way, right? This is the passing mark.
Okay.
And this is 100. నాకు 35 దాటేవాడు ఉంటే చాలు. నాకు 100 దాకా అవసరం లేదు.
Okay.
సో ఇప్పుడు నాకు డబ్బు కొడుతున్నాడు కాబట్టి 10 ఉంటే నేను ఇవ్వను. 35 is tight, at least 50-60. He should be guaranteeing me that he will win. Without that, I will not take the risk. Because at the end of the day, only if they win, I win.
Even in that 35% also, like in our state politics, particularly as Krishna Garu said in the initial, the caste equations, he changed it from Guntur to Nasrapet. Those external equations only considering.
Still, regardless, the candidate has to win.
Yeah.
To win an election, it doesn't involve only one equation or two equations. There's so many things, there's so many factors that work. The words you say, the people you meet, there's so many factors. Don't just, I know that the mainstream media has this habit of painting everything in such a brute way, so that youth like you get disappointed of not entering the. No, it's not like that. Don't take it that way. Everyone is going to say like it's all in caste politics. There's to some extent, yes, and I'm sure there's some extent is there in this college also.
Yes, everybody else is. We're looking at elections. Elections happen every 5 years. What happens in between? Next election is in 2024.
Hopefully.
No, it will happen.
So what's the question?
What do we do in between? So, the important thing I believe is not during elections. The important thing is in between the elections.
Who are you asking? Who is this question to?
What we are going to do or what we are doing right now?
No. I'm just making a general point out here that the most important thing is what happens in between the elections.
So, as a parliament, I'm giving from my perspective, I see myself doing three things in between from this election to the next election. Next election, I might contest, I might not contest, might win, might not win. So, these are all the factors. Anyways, I got opportunity for 5 years, and people have given this golden opportunity. So, what I am going to do in this 5 years, the first thing is, the first and foremost, is, as I was mentioning earlier, how you can influence the policy, how you can influence, bring up the, make up. That is the first and foremost thing. As a parliamentary, that is your primary job. Second job is, I'll be in some standing committees. Right now, I'm in MHRD and also Animal Husbandry in a committee. So, in that committees, how I can bring in some ideas from my perspective, so that my ideas get in. And they, in the standing committees, a lot of deliberation happens before some new education policy is there. We discussed a lot in the standing committees. Regarding women safety and welfare, we discussed almost for 4 weeks in standing committees, and a lot of them are getting implemented in the country. So, so that's the second thing. That is what as a parliamentary I'm doing. Third thing is, if and when I get an opportunity in my constituency, how I can get that connection going, wherein if I can get some funds from central government in some schemes which are there already there, a lot of Prime Minister schemes are there. If we can get them and get them implemented in our parliament and get that coordination going between my collector and district officials and my MLAs with the central government funding, that is the third job. These are the three jobs that I should be doing in the next 5 years.
As voters, you talk from the leader's perspective. As voters or citizens or participants of democracy, in the 5 years what you can do is seek the truth. So basically read what's happening, then listen to the other side. Because if I read Sakshi, I will only see one side, I will not see the other side. If I read maybe some other newspaper, Andhra Jyoti or something, I will only see the other side. Not only, but largely. There are people who believe this fully, there are people who believe that fully. Don't be either of those people. Try to see both of them have, everybody has agenda. But try to glean the truth from the noise. Right? And once you are seeing the other side, you're opening yourself to everyone in society. And once you're seeing the other side, once you seek the truth, the third thing is communicate. Speak. Speak about it to your friends, speak about it on a YouTube channel. Let there be debate about it. How much time we spent talking how Virat Kohli batted or how Pawan Kalyan's movie is. Spend that much time talking about that policy, that leader, what are they doing. When this happens, a citizen understands what is the role of a representative. Now as a parliament member, he's telling what is his role. But if I go to my constituency of 18 lakh voters, they don't know what a parliament member's role is. They think, oh, I didn't see you, that's why you didn't help me, you didn't help me get a job, that's why I won't vote for you. My role is not to help that person get a job.
You didn't come for my child function.
At the end of the day, beyond a certain point, we have to realize that we are all animals and we are all driven by instinct and emotion. But we are evolved to a certain point where we should hold ourselves accountable to a bigger standard. You should realize that you here represent a very small section of India. majority of the voters are not educated. They are aware. They have common sense, but they don't understand complex issues maybe as well as some others do. If you feel you do understand better, go out there, educate people, communicate. I would say, would that be a fair thing?
It would be an excellent thing to do.
Yeah.
So communicate it, discuss it, talk about it. And your MP or your MLA or your corporator is willing to listen to your suggestions. So, write to them, write letters, write emails.
Let me add something what Bharat was saying. Regarding the media, we all think, sitting here, we all educated here, we think that, media creates some image of a leader. So when that leader doesn't perform or doesn't get elected back, we all think, oh, people are so naive, people doesn't know what the truth is, they just carried away, they just get carried away, they don't actually go into leaders. That's what we think. But to tell you frankly, media plays, in my perspective, very, very small role in getting someone elected or bringing someone back into this thing. It's about the work you do and how much influence you made on the person in their family that actually brings, that people actually realize that, very frankly. Because if I ask you, any of you, how many of you read newspapers every day?
Krishna, audience delegates who are sitting here, there are students and few entrepreneurs who are working on social space already.
Yeah. How many of you are read Inadu or Okay. You tell me 3 days back what was the headline in Inadu? No one remembers that. So we give so much importance to media and this thing, but it actually doesn't, makes little bit of impression, but the biggest impression that a leader can make is you being there. Is the warmth you're spreading. So that is what you think was, because all of our educated people think that, oh, we have this image of someone, so this has to be like that. So good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Before going for question and answers, I have 2 final questions for the panelists, and we'll go for the question and answers. Give us 10 minutes, please. Young generation, next generation youth kanaka the politics loki, active politics loki ravali ante the education system support chestunda, and you both are like legends in
I clarify that question. Education system support cheyadam ante enti?
యూనివర్సిటీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్స్ లో యాక్టివ్ పాలిటిక్స్ కి సంబంధించిన యాక్టివిజమ్స్ ఎంకరేజ్ చేయడం కానీ, లేకపోతే నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ యంగ్స్టర్స్ ని యాక్టివ్ పాలిటిక్స్ లోకి సొసైటీలోకి రావడానికి ఈ యూనివర్సిటీస్ ఎంతవరకు సహాయపడుతున్నాయి? Is it really?
I don't know about Vignan, but in Geetham we don't have student politics. So now I'm speaking as an educationist, not as a politician. And I don't think we've ever had student politics. But we've been more rigid about not having student politics for the last 10-12 years. And I used to give a small example. 10 years ago, 11 years ago, there was some fight between Balakrishna fans and Chiranjeevi fans or something, and it became violent during the student fest. And so it's not even about politics, right? It was during a student fest. And the cops had to get involved. My granddad was very upset. And then after he said, that's it, no more student fests. So typically what happens is sometimes leaders take knee-jerk reactions. That this is what is happening when we give them freedom, so let's not give them freedom. And sometimes the fear that is there is, in our society, if everything was fair and transparent and everything, we would love to have student politics in our campus, right? It enables. But the fear that exists is, will this be manipulated by politicians or political parties or by media, when the cons that we see sometimes overpower the pros? We tend to be safe. For example, yesterday, one of my MLAs under my constituency, TV9 was putting a scrolling that his institution is called Defence Academy. Defence Academy students are now rioting because of no proper facilities. I call up the leader saying that any issue. He says, yeah, there's a kid whose family is YCP, and he got together a few YCP people, and now they're sitting there and they're making a scene. Now, how much of it is truth, all that, if you put it aside, it can be used to advantage. Now, what happened, Andhra University, a few months ago, a few weeks ago, students were saying their rights, and then you've seen in JNU, students are saying, there's two sides of the coin. Media is not presenting the full picture. One side says that the students were not letting any students register, saying that we will not accept this fees increase. And if you look at it, the increase was from 400 to 600 or 400 to 800 rupees. It was not from 400 to 40,000. And the other side says that students' voice is being suppressed and they are being termed as jihad. It's so hard in this noise to find out what is the truth, what is not. Nobody trusts systems, whether they will be fair or not. Within our institution, at least, what I am very keen is, you conduct yourself truthfully, you conduct yourself fairly, and over time build the reputation that any issue that comes up, you deal with it in a transparent and fair manner. Once that institution reaches that space, I think we would be open to student politics. When we feel the leadership and everybody are capable of dealing with things in a good manner. In the absence of that, if we liberalize, it can go in a wrong direction, is the fear.
That's what I keep mentioning this. I kept about the student politics in Andhra Pradesh versus student political activism in Telangana. There's a stark difference, and I'm so happy to be here today because forums like these should happen in Andhra University, in universities in Andhra as well. To very frankly tell you, Andhra universities in Andhra doesn't provide any facilities for students to actually pursue politics, and that is being the reason why there is a dearth of leaders that are coming out, speakers. You see Telangana politicians, the amazing speakers, and they have that pulse of the people because they're all coming from the student politics. But Andhra, the main reason was there is no university in Andhra which has a strong humanities department. Unlike Telangana. When you have that going, it actually, people get scared thinking that, oh, something might happen, something will happen. I'll give an example. What happened in we run Vigyan University. In 2013-14, when the state division was happening, we made sure the classes started at 8 o'clock in the morning in the university, and we finished the classes at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock they had lunch. From 1 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock they were sitting in the Samay Andhra movement. We made sure that you have to participate in this, because this is about your future, about your state. You cannot be oblivious to the fact of what's happening around you. You can't be sitting in your campus and think that it's not my duty. So we made them, please participate, go participate. You know what? We told them this is how we should participate. This is what you should do. This is the line you should never cross. We educated them. We made them participate, and they went and participated. And they're actually if you see the placements and where they are right now after 4 years, they are doing much better than anyone who are their classmates who have the better academics.
Before going for question and answers, the final questions are agency. There are 34% of the youngsters in this nation, everybody say, all politicians are policymakers. Is that the wish of these young generation is considering while preparing the policies? And question with this additional question for this aiming, are these policymakers really considering the stakeholders when preparing the policies? Live burning examples is CAA and Andhra Capital Separation. Are these stakeholders and also like young and next generation who are going to actually victims of these things, are policymakers are really considering the stakeholders? Is that mechanism is there in the system?
So the mechanism is there, but they don't always consider the stakeholders. So what you're saying in CAA is exactly what happened. If you don't take all stakeholders, there will be protests. So the important thing is, if your voice is not being heard, you have to make it being heard. You can't sit at home and say, I will be quiet. If you think that there is a law that is not just, you have to go out in the streets and protest. And that is what is happening. So, nobody is going to give you, okay, you are the youth, therefore we will give you all the policies. You have to go out and take it for yourself. So you have to be active in it. You have to step up. You have to move out of your house. You have to, you can even write, write to newspapers. You can even start by that. But nobody is going to give you something sitting at home. You have to go out and get it.
Yeah, because parties are too strong for independents to go in competition. Unless they collaborate, there is no chance for independent candidates to win because there is too much pressure from the other side using money and polarization from the party.
That's called contesting. If you, for example, you are appearing for a job in the next few months, someone cannot come out he cannot come and say, sir, this person has the opportunity of studying in VNR. These two have the opportunity of studying in VNR. I couldn't get into VNR. I studied in some other college. I couldn't get the, so give me the opportunity as yours. It's not about dirty competition itself. You have to participate if you want to be in the competition as independent. If you want a competition from the other side or from this side. For example, I'll give you Madam Navneet Rana. I'm sure you must be knowing her. She was an actress. She's Navneet Kaur, but Navneet Rana. So she won an election in Amaravati, the Amaravati of Maharashtra, not this Amaravati. Amaravati of Maharashtra as independent. And she slogged for 5 years. Last election she contested and she lost by very close margin. But from 2014 to 2019, no one is going to give a free way for you. You have to take it up. And she slogged for 5 years. In 5 years, she was there with people almost on daily basis, even though she lost the election. And in 2019, what they have done, NCP supported her. I don't know if I can say it on this. NCP supported her, Congress supported her, and BJP supported her. She was MLA, but Congress, BJP, and NCP, three of them are from different directions. They supported her against Shiv Sena candidate. You have to be such a force in existence so that other parties can say, okay, let her through. So if you don't create a force and say, no, I need a pass just because I am use a privilege card, it's not going to happen.
There is no shortcut.
I'm Vamsi Krishna from Visakhapatnam. I have a question and I have some statistics. India is the youngest nation, everybody knows that. But come to parliamentary and this legislature system, India has the highest eligibility age to contest, that is 25. India is the only country that is having highest eligibility age to contest in the parliament.
Otherwise, another country is 18.
18. I have that statistics also. Just I'll show that.
That's fine.
We have vote right at the age of 18, but we can't participate in elections. Youth at the age of 18. What is this? And I have other question too. అందరూ అధికారంలోకి వచ్చాక పవర్ గ్రిడ్ యూత్ పార్లమెంటేరియన్స్ యూత్లో ఉన్నారు, వెళ్తున్నారు పార్లమెంట్కి, పార్లమెంటేరియన్స్ అవుతున్నారు అండ్ పవర్ గ్రిడ్ పెరిగిపోతుంది. అండ్ మీరున్నారు పార్లమెంటేరియన్స్గా, మీరు ఇప్పుడు 5 years ఆపర్చునిటీ వచ్చింది మీకు టు సర్వ్ ద కంట్రీ, టు సర్వ్ యాజ్ పార్లమెంటేరియన్. మీరు పవర్ గ్రిడ్ కాదంటున్నారు కాబట్టి కెన్ యూ ఆఫ్టర్ 5 years ఆర్ పవర్ గ్రిడ్
I never said I'm not power greedy.
పవర్ గ్రీడీ అయిపోతున్నారు. ఒక 5 years మనకు ఆపర్చునిటీ వచ్చి, ఓకే అనదర్ సెషన్, అనదర్ టర్మ్, we get another 5 years, okay 10 years you serve the country. Will you give, you parliamentarians, will you give others?
So I can answer that. So this the question is basically, are you willing to let go of something that you have? General tendency, it's not about politics, right? This is you're talking about issues that impact human psyche. Anything that we have, we will not let go. మన ఆస్తిని వదులుకోము, మన ఫ్రెండ్షిప్ని వదులుకోము, మన పవర్ని వదులుకోము, ఏమీ వదులుకోము. సో ఇన్ యువర్ లైఫ్ ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ మీరు 5 ఏళ్ళు ఫ్రెండ్గా ఉన్నారు, దాని ఫ్రెండ్ వదిలేసుకుంటారా? తల్లిదండ్రులు వదిలేసుకుంటారా? I'm not talking what is right and what is wrong. I'm talking about human psyche. హ్యూమన్ సైకి ఏంటి అంటే ఆల్రెడీ మనం దాంట్లో ఉంటే వదులుకోవాలి అని నాకు న్యాచురల్గా రాదు. Okay, so how can the system make it easier or harder, right? The system would have made it easier. Suppose I had no attachment to it. What is the attachment? Not about us. Let us say some other candidate is there. I spent a lot of money. I win. After 5 years, I have not earned any money. I've lost the money that I lost. Now what? I lost the money, నేను ఎక్కడ పోగొట్టుకున్నా అక్కడే నాకు రావాలి అని కొంతమంది ఆలోచిస్తారు. ఆ డబ్బులు వచ్చేదాకా నేను వదలను. ఇంకొకరు ఎవరో పవర్ అనుభవిస్తారు. ఆ పవర్ ద్వారా నేను ఐఎమ్ గెటింగ్ రికగ్నిషన్ ఇన్ సొసైటీ. Everybody in life wants to move forward. Once you move forward, will you say that no, I want to go backward or I'll relax? సన్యాసం అంటారు. సన్యాసం 75కి వస్తుంది మనకి. వెంటనే we will not be willing to let go. It's not about follow-up questions. See, the point is your answer. When you are in it, you will be able to understand it. It depends on you. For example, I am there. If I'm fed up of this system.
Restrict your question only to the youth into the politics and politics.
It's okay. But if I want to give up, I can give it up. There's no guarantee.
There is one more question on the contesting age 25 correct?
I don't have an answer. I mean, I have not done enough research on that to answer it.
అంటే నేను ఒక సింగిల్ క్వశ్చన్ అడగాలని అనుకుంటున్నాను. మార్నింగ్ నుంచి వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నాను.
No qualified statement. Just say the
question. Okay. సార్, స్టేట్ గురించి ఇప్పుడు ప్రెజెంట్ ఆల్రెడీ పార్లమెంట్ లో ఒక బిల్ పాస్ అయింది. సో నెక్స్ట్ లీడర్ మీరుంటే మీరు, నేను వస్తే నేను, నా ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు ఆ బిల్స్ ని కొలాబ్స్ చేసి మళ్ళీ నేను ఒక బిల్ పాస్ చేసి స్టేట్ తోటి గేమ్స్ ఆడుకోవడం, పార్లమెంట్ కి కానీ లేకపోతే అసెంబ్లీకి వెళ్ళిన ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి పాసిబిలిటీస్ ఉంటాయా? అంటే సీఎం అయితే స్టేట్స్ తోటి పీపుల్స్ తోటి అట్లా క్యాపిటల్స్ ని చేంజ్ చేస్తూ, ఈరోజు నా క్యాపిటల్ ఇండియా మ్యాప్ లో లేదు అంటే మేము ఇక్కడ ల్యాక్స్ ఆఫ్ యూత్ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చున్నామండి పక్క స్టేట్స్ కి. సో అది చాలా బాగా
ఫ్రమ్ ఆంధ్ర.
yes
యువత రాజకీయాల్లో పాల్గొంటే ఓటుకు నోటు అనే అంశాన్ని నివారించవచ్చు.
Okay, so I'll take I really am interested in this topic, so I'd like to say a little bit. How many of you have studied economics over here? How many of you have studied the concept of game theory? So very few of you have heard of that. I'll give a very short explanation. It is a 2x2 matrix of outcomes of a situation. Okay, two friends or two accomplices in a crime. They have done the crime, whatever it is, theft or murder or whatever. They are both in two individual cells, and they are being interrogated by the police. Okay, the police goes and makes an offer to them, and I could be a little bit wrong, so correct me, but it says that if you confess to your crime, you will not get the punishment. Instead of getting 5 years punishment, you will only get 2 years punishment. It tells this person, he doesn't know what the other person is thinking. Now this person starts thinking, if I don't confess, then they'll give me 5 years. If I confess, they'll give me 2 years. So the other guy, what if he confesses that we did the crime? Then if I don't confess, I'll get 5 years, that fellow will get 2 years. So the other guy also goes through the same emotion. When you don't know what the other guy is going to do, and you feel if you don't do the action, you are going to fall behind, you always tend to take the less favorable outcome. That is information dissemination. In the voters mindset, ఇప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, నేను తీసుకోండి డబ్బులు, సరే పక్కనోడు తీసుకుంటున్నాడు, వీడు తీసుకుంటున్నాడు, వీళ్ళందరూ తీసుకుంటున్నారు, నేను ఒక్కడిని తీసుకుని ఎలాగైతే going to give money, ఎలాగో that fellow is going to take money, I'm a poor family, that 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees will make a difference to me, so why should I not take అనేది వాళ్ళ mindset. The person who is distributing the money mindset ఏంటి, that నేను ఇవ్వకపోతే నేను ఓడిపోతాను అని. సో దిస్ ఇస్ అ చికెన్ అండ్ కోడి ముందు వచ్చిందా గుడ్డు ముందు వచ్చిందా అని. ప్రజలు తీసుకోవడం వద్దు అంటే ఇంకా పాలిటిషియన్స్ చాలా హ్యాపీ, పార్టీస్ చాలా హ్యాపీ. సో వన్స్ ఇట్స్ లైక్ బాల్ రోలింగ్, ఒకసారి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత దాన్ని అంతా ఈజీగా ఆపగలుగుతాం చాలా కష్టం.
టు ఆన్సర్ యువర్ క్వశ్చన్, యూత్ వస్తే మారుతుందని. సరే, ఇప్పుడు మీకు అర్థమయ్యే భాషలో చెప్పాలంటే బైక్ ఉందా, ఉంది కదా, అబోవ్ 40 years వాళ్ళందరికీ బైక్ లైసెన్సెస్ తీసేసి ఓన్లీ మీ ఒక్కరికి బైక్ లైసెన్స్ ఇస్తే పోలీసుకి బ్రైబరీ ఇవ్వడం తగ్గుద్దా? ఎందుకు తగ్గదంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ యువర్ మైండ్ సెట్, ఇట్స్ నాట్ యువర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్. ద సిస్టమ్ ఈజ్ లైక్ దట్. ఆ సిస్టంలో కరెక్షన్స్ చేయకుండా యూ కెనాట్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ యూ టు చేంజ్. బైక్ హెల్మెట్ పెట్టామంటాడు, ఇక్కడ ఎండ కూడా 40 degrees కొడుతూ ఉంటుంది, లోపల చెమట కారుతూ ఉంటుంది, ఇక్కడికి వస్తే అమ్మాయిని చూడాలా, ఇదంతా చెమటతో రావాలా, ఎందుకు ఇదని హెల్మెట్ తీసేస్తావు, వాడు పట్టుకుంటాడు. అంతే కదా,
అంటే జీరో బడ్జెట్ పాలిటిక్స్ రావా సార్? ఇంకా
వస్తాయి. ద సిస్టమ్స్ హ్యాస్ టు కరెక్ట్. ఇప్పుడు we have corrected it. That's what I'm saying. 7 of our MPs are coming to sitting in the parliament without actually spending any money.
The government has initiated efforts to reduce cash circulation by introducing GST. GST ద్వారా the amount of cash circulation is going to be more easily tracked. The other thing, let us take it as an example. Land value is there. The land paper value will be 10 lakhs, but actual trading value will be 1 crore. Who pays the remaining 90 lakhs? It is being transacted in cash. If the land value comes to real value, then cash is not going to be needed anymore. The government's role should be to ensure that there is no need for cash and there is going to be close monitoring of cash, and the minute that happens, it becomes more transparent. But you look at the most developed economies, Singapore, US, I think, I correct me, but 30-40% of cash is still there in the system. So it's just about how to improve.
The question is about the effect of caste on the youth. Like my family is a huge TDP supporter with Chowdhury, so I have a friend who's a Reddy and he supports YSR. So whenever we have an argument about politics, we somehow end up at the caste system and all of that. So what role should the youth play to stop that? Like even in our family when we talk, our thoughts get influenced because of that.
Yeah, let him answer.
So, we've actually done surveys that show that caste is so ingrained in India that our genetic pool is affected by it. So I have one simple answer to that. Marry outside your caste.
Same question, I don't know your name. Same question, some 5 years back, I put it in front of JP Gar. He said the same answer. Go for intercaste marriage. At least your son won't speak about caste.
Yeah, I say this, I had interreligious marriage.
We cannot change the system overnight like many people of you. You are young, you are energetic, right? The change begins at home. Right? The change begins with you. How are you? How are you treating your friends? When you're taking a decision in your organization, are you preferring merit? Are you preferring your friend? Are you preferring somebody from your caste? If you can monitor yourself and you can continuously improve. Overnight you may not improve. You will be a symbol. If 100 people see and they say, no, Shreya is a person who does not give this, you will become an inspiration for 10 other people. So it's all about change beginning at home. We can complain about the system all the time. Don't worry about the system. Think about yourself. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't say all of these things and again go out and do the same things. The people over here who are talking about note or talking about power or any of these things, tomorrow watch yourself. Don't do the things that you are complaining about today. If your life, if you can live by that principle, you are complaining about something, you never do it in your life, that's enough. The world is going to be a better place.
To answer that from my perspective and to add what you were saying, when we were studying, I'm sure you also have the caste picnics and everything. So the first year, it's you have so much of pressure from seniors. So I was there for like 15 minutes and I said, this is absolutely nonsense and bullshit. I'm never going to come for that, and I never went for that. And right now I'm in the parliament for the last 8 months, and I was canvassing for the last 5 years or so. I never ever went for any caste picnic. I refused to. I said I'm not going to come. If you invite, for example, if someone is doing it and you invite everyone, I'm sure I'll come. But if you're calling me on my caste, I'm never going to come. Even for this month, season was Kartik Masam. They said, please sir, you have to come. I said, I refuse to go because that's my stand. So you also take your stand from your perspective. I will not judge a person based on his caste, color, creed, then everything will change. But as he was mentioning earlier, the change has to happen within us.
The question is, the youth treating you people as, becoming MLA or MP is a glamorous thing. But you can do anything and everything. But there are plenty of limitations. Sender ki tax kartunam, tax state teppinchukolekpotunnam manam. At the same way, మనం ఒక రైల్వే ట్రాక్ కూడా తెచ్చుకోలేకపోతున్నాము. యాజ్ అన్ ఎంపీ మనం ఎంత మాట్లాడినా ఎంత మంది మినిస్టర్ని చూసినా కూడా తీసుకురాలేకపోతున్నాము. దానికి మేము యూత్ మీకు ఎట్లా అసిస్ట్ చేయగలుగుతాము? ఫస్ట్ థింగ్. ఇప్పుడు సర్ వాజ్ ఆస్కింగ్, ఇప్పుడు 5 years గ్యాప్ లో మనం ఏం చేయగలుగుతామని అడిగారు. 5 years గ్యాప్ లో ఓన్లీ ఇన్ హైదరాబాద్ ఓన్లీ 50% ఆఫ్ ద పోలింగ్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ డన్. ఎంపీకి కంటెస్ట్ చేయడానికి voting 52% అయింది.
What is the role of a leader? What is their capacity to impact as an MLA or an MP? Krishna is an MP, so he can probably answer that better, but he was busy, so I started taking it. See, when you enter the system, it is not that everything you can decide. It's not that you can change everything. But if you, like I said, the change begins with you. But as an MP, you have a platform where you are speaking in the parliament, you are speaking in committees, you are speaking, the media will cover you, you have 18 lakh voters and you have your state, everybody who follows you. You be a good leader. You speak about good things. And as a youth, you support the ideologies of a good leader. That's all that you can do. If you can do that, then more role models will develop. See, as a member of parliament, if I were to imagine, let us say that I cannot make a policy of my choice, I cannot get any major funds to my state, I still will not feel disheartened. If I can inspire 100 children to become future leaders of the nation, that is enough. That is, I'll be happy with that also. The point, how many of you have heard of something called butterfly effect? Right? A small butterfly flaps its wings and it has almost like a tsunami effect on the world. So don't discount the power of a good deed. And as you keep doing good deeds, it will impact. He's sitting in a policy meeting and in the education thing, one particular policy, none of the other leaders are that particular. He makes a stand that no, I want this to be there. And if that policy comes, that can impact 130 crore people.
Imagine sitting somewhere and Mr. Rajiv Pratap Rudy just came and we were talking to each other and then categorically again, మీ పార్లమెంట్లో మెడికల్ కాలేజ్ ఉందా అని ఉందా యా ఉంది అన్నారు. గవర్నమెంట్ సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ స్టేట్ ప్రైవేట్ అంటే సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఇచ్చింది. వెన్ డిడ్ యూ గెట్ ఇట్ అంటే ఐ గాట్ ఇట్ ఇన్ 2013 or 14 he said. Oh, so how many batches have gone out and ఎంతమంది స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉన్నారు, how many batches have gone out, my education background కదా. So I was inquiring. He was like, what do you mean? It's like around 7 years అవుతా ఉంది కదా, some students would have been there and pass out అయి ఉండాలి కదా అంటే no, it's just started constructing now. I was like, what? 7 years తర్వాత construction start చేయండి, temporary campus classes start చేయొచ్చు కదా అంటే then he was like, temporary classes start చేస్తారు అని he had that question. Then I have to tell him, IIT మాది తిరుపతి ఉందండి, దాని తర్వాత IIM మాది వైజాగ్ ఉందండి, అని టెంపరీ క్యాంపసెస్ అవుతున్నాయి అంటే then he was like so startled. But for example, ఆయన కూడా అంతే, అబ్బాయి నేను తెచ్చిన తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు పర్మిషన్ ఇస్తే ఇప్పుడు 10 సంవత్సరాలు కదా మెడికల్ కాలేజ్ కాబట్టి కూర్చున్నాం అనుకోండి, నెవర్ గెట్స్ డన్. సో ఒక్క గుడ్ డీడ్ చేసినా ఏదో ఆ క్రెడిట్ అంతా నీకే రావాలి, నాకే ఉండాలి అని ప్రయత్నించకుండా ఓకే విల్ స్టార్ట్ సంథింగ్ హియర్, let it happen or something down the years and let it work for that. Let's work for that.
So namaste అండి. ఈ మొత్తం ఓవరాల్ కన్వర్సేషన్ లో మనకు ఒక చిన్న క్లారిటీ కావాలి. బిజినెస్ అంటే పాలిటిక్సా, పాలిటిక్స్ అంటే బిజినెసా లేకపోతే సర్వీసా? అండ్ ఒకటే క్వశ్చన్ దానికి రిలేటెడ్. అండ్ వన్ థింగ్ మీకు ఇచ్చాము పాలిటిక్స్ అండ్ పాలసీ. సార్ వన్ సెకండ్, అంటే నేను ఉండాలి, నా పెట్టిన డబ్బులు తీసుకురావాలి, దానికి దీనికి కోరిలేటెడ్ చేస్తున్నారు. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి 2 terms ఆఫ్ పాలిటిక్స్, దానివల్ల యువతకు అవకాశం వస్తుంది. దాని నుండి ఎవరైనా అంటే మీరు ఇద్దరు ఎంపీస్ ఎమ్మెల్యేస్ కావచ్చు. సో రేపటి నాడు మీరు 2 terms ఆఫ్ పాలిటిక్స్ చేసి దాని తర్వాత వదిలేసి నెక్స్ట్ యువతకు ఛాన్స్ ఇస్తాము అన్న విధంగా ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారా?
Other countries have it. In US, the president only has 2 terms. You can go offline and ask. But it has to come. It has to come from the people first. The idea must come from the people. Don't expect the idea to come from the politicians.
The idea came from leaders. We are only asking.
But it has to come from the many people.
No. In America, we have senators ki kuda 2 terms ఉంటుంది.
No.
Not for senators.
Only the president.
No, some government. At the end of the day, politics today has become expensive in many areas. But Krishna has given an example of 7 candidates who come with no wealth background and they have won. So it is not that everybody is living in the same way. That is the only formula. మీరు ఎంతమంది దరు సినిమా చూసారు? రవితేజది చూసారా? మీకు అది గుర్తుంది కదా సినిమాలో కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటి అనేది? What does it do? When the person is entering the system, if he has to enter by paying a bribe or a big amount of money, his mindset psyche gets affected that I paid the money, so I have to survive, I have to get back that money, and all his life is going in the wrong path. What did he do? He helped people get into the system without having to pay that price. Similarly, if political parties can take on the onus, which it seems like YCP has taken, that you don't worry about finance, you just come and contest, I will put the money, there is more likelihood that the candidate is not influenced by money as much. More likelihood, there is no guarantee.
To the legislator and the would-be legislator. So my question is, do young MPs and do young legislators have a forum, and do they discuss, like, it could be taken as a suggestion from my side, if there is no forum for young MPs, please do form a forum of young MPs from the country, do sit once in a 6 months period, please do that. That's my suggestion. And if
do something, never ever sit with a young MP. Okay? I put a lot of effort to sit with the seniors, because మన అందరం అనుకుంటాం వాళ్ళ సీనియర్స్కి నిజంగా గ్రౌండ్ రియాలిటీ ఉండదు అదంతా అనుకుంటారు. దట్స్ ఆల్ నాట్ ట్రూ. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ దే హ్యావ్ సో మచ్ ఆఫ్ గ్రౌండ్ రియాలిటీ. కానీ మీరు మనకి టెలివిజన్లో వచ్చేది కానీ మనకి బాగా సోషల్ మీడియాలో వచ్చేది కానీ ఓన్లీ ఆ ఫైట్ అయినప్పుడే చూస్తాం కాబట్టి మనం అనుకుంటాం వీళ్ళందరూ ఏదో బక్వాస్ మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. కానీ దిస్ టాక్ సో మచ్ ఆఫ్ సైన్స్ ఫస్ట్ థింగ్. సో ఆల్వేస్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఎ గ్రూప్, యంగ్ గ్రూప్, బట్ ఐ ఆల్వేస్ ట్రై టు సిట్ విత్ ద old people and try to learn. And second thing, very interesting thing, మనం పార్లమెంట్కి వెళ్ళేదాకా మనం గెలవకూడదని అందరూ అంటే అవతల పార్టీ వాళ్ళు కోరుకుంటారు. అవతల పార్టీస్ వాళ్ళు అందరూ పార్లమెంట్కి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత మాత్రం లోపలి హౌస్లోకి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత దే వాంట్ యూ టు సక్సీడ్. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఎనీ పార్టీ, either opposition or your party, anyone. If you speak very well, they come and say you spoke very well. If you are speaking, they'll come and say e points matter. They will make sure that you succeed. They want you to succeed. So that is the energy that is there inside the house.
Past 1.5 hour నుండి సో మనతో టైం స్పెండ్ చేయడానికి వచ్చిన కృష్ణదేవరాయలు గారు కానీ, భరత్ గారు కానీ, ఆజాద్ గారు కానీ, అండ్ పర్టికులర్లీ టు ది పొలిటీషియన్స్ హూ కంటెస్టెడ్, భరత్ గారు అండ్ కృష్ణదేవరాయలు గారు, వాట్ ఐ ఫెల్ట్ ఈవెన్ యాజ్ ఎ యంగ్ బడీ పొలిటీషియన్, చాలా ఓపెన్గా మాట్లాడారు, చాలా వ్యూస్ షేర్ చేసుకోగలిగారు. అండ్ ఇవి చాలా ఇన్స్పిరేషనల్గా కూడా నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ యంగ్స్టర్స్కి ద పాలిటిక్స్ని, పాలసీ మేకింగ్ని ప్రొఫెషన్గా తీసుకుందాం అనుకున్న వారికి ఈ సెషన్ చాలా ఫ్రూట్ఫుల్గా ఉంటుంది అనిపించింది. అండ్ ఐ మస్ట్ థ్యాంక్ బోత్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ ఫర్ బీయింగ్ హియర్. అండ్ ద సిగ్నిఫికెన్స్ వాట్ ఐమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు సే ఇస్ దిస్, నేను ఈ ఆర్గనైజర్స్తో టచ్లో ఉన్నాను డే 1 నుంచి. And they approached many senior politicians and senior youngsters also who are there in the parliament. But when they approach the young politicians and young parliamentarians, the receiving and the acceptance, and today they are here. And Ram Mohan Naidu garu kuda undali ee roju వాళ్ళ నాన్నగారి కార్యక్రమం ఉండటం మూలంగా రాలేకపోయారు. And their acceptance and their reaching the next generation youngsters and giving the answers for all your questions, ఇలా ఆన్సర్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. దీని గురించి మనం అర్థం చేసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే, సీజనల్ పాలిటిక్స్లో కూడా నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ యంగ్స్టర్స్ ఏదో ఫ్యామిలీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఉండొచ్చు, వచ్చినా కూడా ఈ పొలిటికల్ సిస్టమ్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ కోసం, ద ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్ కోసం, ద బెటర్ నేషన్ కోసం these young politicians are really working hard. And I wish, wholeheartedly I wish these two young fellows should sit in the parliament in next sessions and with the more responsibilities to transform the Andhra Pradesh state as well as for the better nation. Thank you so much. And Ajadi garu, you give very good insights to the policy making and policy space in the nation way forward. And thank you so much for each and everyone. And